Hello and welcome to the video. My name is Wade Daniel Smith. And have you ever noticed how Christians want the so-called rapture, which is not even in the Bible, not even in the New Testament? It's something that they made up out of whole cloth. Anyway, they want the so-called rapture to happen, and they want the so-called tribulation in the book of Revelation to happen for some reason, even though there's nothing good about it other than God massacring anybody that supposedly wasn't worshiping Jesus. All right, which that's the worshiping Jesus is not a rational definition of salvation, by the way. The book of Revelation is an entirely false prophecy, and so is the entire New Testament. But Christians claiming to be loving people want God to massacre all of the unbelievers. That's why they want the rapture and the tribulation to happen. That's why Christians want that to happen. All right, they think that's their blessed hope, is for God to massacre all of the atheists and pagans and whatnot. I was a Christian for the first 36 years of my life, and I never had that attitude. But about 8 years ago, I gave up on Christianity and became a deist because the real God finally got through to me that Christianity was absolute blasphemy. So I'm going to turn the tables on Christians. I'm going to pray that God plagued Christians with every plague in the book of Revelation that Christians wanted atheists and pagans to be plagued with. And maybe that will teach Christians a lesson to worship God correctly instead of worshiping God out of spite for everybody else. All right. If the only reason you worship God is to get out of hell, then you miss the whole point, Christian. Because that's actually the only reason most Christians become Christians is because they're afraid of hell. Oh, I don't want to go to hell. You're supposed to worship God out of love for God and his goodness. You're not supposed to worship God out of fear of hell. That anybody would worship God out of fear of hell, and it doesn't even make you a good person. James said the devils believe and tremble in your own Christian Bible. So you're a complete hypocrite, Christians. You're complete hypocrites. So I am literally going to pray that God plagued Christians with every plague that Christians sat there and hoped on everybody else on the face of the earth from the book of Revelation. May God destroy you with everything you prayed against everybody else. John Hagee and Jimmy Swaggart and all the other false end time prophets. There's no such thing as an end of time. The universe is actually relatively young compared to what the laws of physics says that it could last for. Without God even doing anything new creative to it, it could last for 10 to the 108th power number of years just by the expansion rate that God has already given it and the energy that's already available. That's a number that we can't even comprehend, by the way, but it's calculable. That's how perfect God created the universe to begin with. It's one reason you'd have to be a complete lunatic to think that it was an accident. All right? So there is no such thing as the end of time. But since Christians want an end of time, I pray God will end time for Christians and wipe them out. Since Christians wanted everybody else wiped out, I am praying to the true creator, Almighty God. There can be no more sincere way of praying to God than to honor him as the true creator. I am praying that he wipe out Christians with every evil plague that they thought they were going to wipe out the atheists and the agnostics and the other unbelievers, because those people were deceived by the devil. But what is your excuse? You are evil to your core because you wanted that for 2,000 years. So I'm going to pray it come right back on your head that you cursed everybody else, Christians. I am praying that you be cursed with the curse that you cursed everybody else with.